Be honest, does this outfit plus this slick back bun make it look like I just joined a bowling league? What about keeping the shorts but a different shirt? And some more bold earrings. Let's try that. Are y'all stealing a plant before you hit the road?
Yes.
No.
You stealing a plant from the garden?
We are. Hopefully it won't die in the Texas heat.
May's like, yeah, I'm just used to this.
She's already sad. I saw it on her face.
I am.
Text me in 5 minutes.
Okay, text you in 5 minutes. Love you. Mom and Dad just left and I'm so sad, but I'm finishing getting ready for the day and excited to spend the day with you guys because that will help me kind of take my mind off of the sadness of them driving back home right now. And I have something happy to tell you because I have something really cool. This is Boca. It's such an interesting toothpaste concept because it's one that you don't actually have to rinse off your teeth because of the technology it uses. I didn't really realize how many bad things can be in other toothpaste brands, but this is non-toxic. There's like no artificial flavoring. There's no endocrine disruptors. Like literally it is clean enough to swallow. You don't have to rinse and spit, and they actually tell you not to because it's better if it sits on your teeth. But this is a toothpaste that has NHA, which is a mineral that helps to fortify your enamel. And the thing that's nice about this is when I heard about this brand, I placed an Amazon order and it got there the next day. So you can buy this on Amazon. They actually gave me a code that can also work on Amazon. It's 15 Michel J to get 15% off your order, but I'd recommend getting the 3-pack because the 3-pack you can like kind of choose whichever flavor you want. The 3-pack is already discounted and then you can stack my code on top of that. I've been using the mint, which is just like a very natural fresh mint taste. And I've also been using this whitening one. But the way that it works is this mineral fills the holes in your enamel and it really mimics like what a tooth is composed of. And so that helps with sensitivity. I have such sensitive teeth. I cannot watch people bite into ice cream because like it hurts me to see. So I was just really excited to find this and to learn about it and especially just kind of continue to clean up the products I'm using. Do something that's non-toxic and fluoride free and doesn't have sulfates or parabens. There's a ton of different flavors. There's like ginger and a lot of natural flavors if you want to check out on Amazon or on their website. The code works on both. So thank you to Boca for partnering with me on this video. 15 Michel J for 15% off, or get the 3-pack and like stack that. So I didn't get the 3-pack the first time because I wanted to kind of just try a few things, but now that I know my favorites, I'm definitely gonna do that moving forward to save a little bit of money. I think I'm ready for the day. Feeling a little less like I'm in a bowling outfit. I literally never wear shorts and I'm like, oh, if my legs are out, I should probably put lotion on them because they need it. They are dry. Tomorrow, we just realized, is the 10th, and that is exactly 6 months since our wedding, which flew by. I know we're still little barely newlyweds, but it feels like it's been like 2 months since the wedding. I'm just so shocked at how time has flown. So I went ahead and did a little question box on my Instagram to see if it would be worth doing like a separate sit down video about kind of my experience of the first 6 months of marriage or what, and I've decided maybe we'll just do that in today's vlog a little bit later. But it also kind of worked out perfectly. I thought my parents were staying another day or two, but I forgot that they're literally driving, so it takes them a couple days to drive. So I was really sad that I didn't get this weekend with them, but Jordy's mom gets here on Sunday. So tomorrow's kind of our only day with nobody here, and it just so happens to also be our 6 months. So we're gonna try to take tomorrow completely unplugged and just spend the day together before more family gets into town. But also, since I've been, hanging out with the parents and wanting to be as present as possible and not really miss anything, I've let myself fall behind on a lot of things. So I think tonight I'm gonna make a big ol' work night. Like Jordy and I might have a coffee shop date in the evening and just get as much stuff done as possible so that tomorrow, hopefully, we can be unplugged and like hang out and spend the day together before family gets here. So that's kind of is what's up on the itinerary for the weekend for us. I gotta catch up. Oh, I also just learned, excuse this, I bought this, it's literally like a beach like sarong. I bought it to like maybe eventually frame, and I just hung it over my artwork here to picture the colors in this room. I do love the colors of it, but it's too big to get framed, so I'd have to like take a portion of it and frame just a portion of it. And so I'm just trying to stare at it and see what I like. But I also just found out that I am apparently taking a trip next week. It's a work trip. Out of all places, they're flying me to Austin, which is hilarious. But it is probably the biggest deal of a work trip that has ever happened to me in my life. It's not going to be a YouTube job. I'm going to get some Instagram content for them. But I literally am getting to work with Southwest. I exclusively fly Southwest. My only credit card's a Southwest card. Jordy's only card is a Southwest card. My parents' only card is a Southwest card. We all like do the whole points thing. I pretty much always fly for free, and I have the companion pass. Jordy has the companion pass. My parents have the companion pass. We've just like learned how to hack the system to pretty much always fly for free and bring a guest for free. So when Southwest reached out and asked if I had the card, I was like, are you kidding? And it's been in the works for like 6 months, but I just found out that it is literally happening, and next week I'm getting to fly to Austin and get content for Southwest. So I'm freaking out about that. It definitely is throwing next week for a loop because it's 3 days of travel that I didn't expect, but I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. I get to see Jacqueline. I'm actually gonna do some training too because I'm onboarding my cousin who is living there currently but might move out here. So it's just crazy. I'm like so excited about it. But that's another thing to prep for this next week. Oh, and yesterday was my first day of, I'm calling it like homeschool culinary school, where me and my friend that was doing the classes with me are taking classes now out of my home from one of the chef instructors. And it was so much fun. It was a full day. We started at 9 and didn't end until like probably 7 p.m. Let's see, we made several types of cheeses just from milk. We did paneer, we did ricotta, we made mayo from scratch, then we turned it to ranch from scratch. We made different sorts of like fried kind of kale situations. We made curry paste from scratch, turned that into curry. We also compressed watermelon just for fun. And then we double compressed it because the farmer's market we started there had yellow and orange watermelon. Didn't even know that was a thing, but look, we put it into this compressor that basically like it makes it, you know, all compress into each other. This was what the yellow watermelon looked like after compressing one time. See how it gets kind of like translucent and gummy? And this is what it looked like after compressing 2 times. It literally got like a translucent kind of like gummy situation, and the flavor was so much more potent and like it was so much sweeter. And now I want to get a compressor, or I forget the exact name of it. I looked it up actually, let me find it. It's a chamber vacuum sealer. Anyways, that was my all day yesterday. So it was really awesome. Y'all helped me diagnose what was wrong with my fruit trees, and they're called leaf miners. And apparently one of the like natural solutions is to spray neem oil. So I've been doing that, and I don't know if it's getting much better. Now it's on lemon tree, pink lemon tree, orange tree, blood orange tree. They're definitely spreading. So another thing I read is we could try getting ladybugs and letting it just be like nature's, what is it called? Something that fights something off. You know what I mean? But this is my precious birthday tree. It's just getting more and more sad. I mean, the oranges are still growing and are getting pretty big, but like the blood orange tree over here is starting to get them as well. The pink lemon tree, I don't know if this is the same thing, but it's just not doing well. So I think next step is try one more thing, try ladybugs before then we like call in a professional and maybe have to use some chemicals, which I would hate because it's so nice to have all this like organic produce right here. Also, the apple tree is popping off down there. Look at these apples. They're getting so big. There's actually quite a few popping up. It's crazy at like what different speeds they grow. Like that one's pretty tiny and this one's pretty large. And this tree's starting to fruit too, which I honestly don't even know what type of fruit tree this is. Here, let's go down. It looks like some sort of other citrus happening down here. I should know what it is, but it didn't fruit last year, so I honestly didn't even know it could fruit. Sorry, I guess I'm just giving you literally all the updates, but there's also an avocado that is starting to form. Well, I think we should head out and buy ladybugs soon. I think I saw them at Lowe's. I'm about to sneeze. Uh-oh. Something that we can do is, now that mom and dad have left the guest room, I kind of pictured hanging this somewhere in the guest room. I think it's just so cool. And I think that the color of this like lighter wood and lighter paint would look really good against the dark green up there. So let's just go see if we can find a spot for it. Okay, I kind of feel like the two possible spots would be move this Austin painting somewhere else. This is from Kaylee's, and I do love it, and I want to keep it somewhere. But this is like a cool little area to hang this. I wonder which way. Probably up. So that's an option. Or I took the ducks down from here because it just felt a little too presidential against the green. But hanging it kind of behind this lamp over here could be kind of cool. Actually, there's still a nail from the ducks there, so I could just literally hook that on right there. And let's take a step back and see. I mean, but it's pretty hidden. I kind of feel like we try to hang it here and find a new home for the Austin. I think it's kind of cool. Also, I've never really seen this angle before on camera where you can see into both rooms at the same time. Kind of a vibe. Also, I mentioned this and we cut the scene, but we are trying to revive a friend's plant. They were gonna throw it away, and we're trying to see if this fiddle will come back to life. It literally was like folded completely over like this. So we put a stake in it and tied it to the stake, and we're gonna see. But it's nice having a plant up here. You know, a little bit of life. It's been a nice little change. Just thoughts and prayers for its recovery because it's not doing too hot. Jordy suggested one other way of trying to get some ladybugs for our yard before going and paying for them, and I feel like I just gotta do the due diligence of giving it a shot. Didn't work. Just gotta go buy them. Oh no, here's the display, but it's empty on every shelf. I'll have to ask and see if they have any more anywhere else, but I guess everyone wants ladybugs right now. Well, we struck out. They're fully out of ladybugs, which he just was telling me that they got a huge shipment in a couple weeks ago and they kind of like went pretty fast. I started saying it to y'all and then like I lost my train of thought, so like I stopped the vlog and he was like, he came up, he goes, sorry, did I get in it? And I was like, no, I just couldn't think of what I was trying to say. But now I have to debate if I want to go do a hunt and like check other spots or if that's not a good ROI on my time, because I've never seen them anywhere else besides Lowe's. But I've also never actively looked. Well, Home Depot's a no-go as well. No ladybugs. Man, I was kind of looking forward to naming them all and keeping them as pets and giving them a happy life. And the fruit trees and going to say hello to them every morning. But looks like it's not in my cards. I was telling my mom about my idea of framing a piece of fabric as art for our room. I've decided the art that I painted, the colors of it, aren't quite what I want for our bedroom, and I might hang my painting in the upstairs den. And I was like, I just want something that's like, obviously we have a painting, so I don't want more painted art necessarily. I feel like something textile would be cool. So I have a couple pieces of fabric that could work, or that one big like beach wrap that I ordered. And she was like, yeah, well, it might be cheap or free fabric, but the framing of it's going to be so expensive. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. Unless I found like a secondhand cheap piece of art that I just liked the frame enough and could take it apart and then put a piece of fabric behind a thrifted frame. So I know we go look at the estate sale warehouse like, you know, every single week. I actually went with mom just a few days ago, and I recently just got the art that's hanging above our bed. But I figure why not swing by, you know, every few days and just see if they get in any new super cheap art that I love the frame and could take it apart and repurpose that frame for fabric on the inside, you know? Doesn't hurt to just go look. And it's one of those things that you probably have to look like a handful of times before you luck out. Let's swing by, check it out. Then maybe we can do our little 6 months married Q&A before Jordy and I go have a co-work afternoon. He had a great idea of working at one of the hotels downtown in Oceanside, because ever since Jake and Elise were staying there, we were like, you can totally just, you know, order a drink or a bite of food or whatever and work out of the lobby or the rooftop of any of those hotels. And it's so nice. So that was a great idea of his. Maybe we're gonna do that this evening as a fun way to get work done on a Friday night. Not what I'm here for, but I'm just appreciating the beauty of this bookcase. Look at that glass. If anybody's in Oceanside and needs a bookcase, come get this one. There's literally 5,000 frames right now, which is pretty rare. Obviously none of them have glass, but I'm wondering how hard it would be to put like plexiglass in front and like some sort of a backing. Or if I'm being naive and that's actually like a bigger project than I realize. Because some of these are really pretty. Like look at this one. And there's just so many. But I'm going to circle around, maybe come back, make a plan. This is actually a great size frame, but the print is so cute, but it's $35. But like the print itself is pretty cute. So even if I use the frame, I'd kind of want to keep the print for something else or like give it to someone if it doesn't quite fit. The print frame was probably my favorite, but I'm going to just keep looking until I find one that I'm like, oh, for sure, this one. That one had a little hint of like a red, just tiny little line around the border. And that alone, I was like, it's not quite perfect. So I'll keep my eye out. If anybody is thrifting in the North County area and sees anything, that would be a great frame and that you could take apart from the back. Let me know where you find it. But I'm gonna quickly run in and grab a little matcha so that we can have a card chat, because I feel like it's just kind of like an essential part of the equation. You know what I mean? I went into Communal because they have this iced oat ube matcha latte that I love, and she misheard me and she gave me, I guess, ube regular latte. Lord knows I'm not the type to correct an order unless it's literally gonna hurt me from gluten. So we're gonna try this. Kind of matches me, and we'll see how it is. The one thing is I've kind of been struggling with anxiety the last few weeks. Couldn't tell you why. It just sometimes comes up. I mean, I could probably guess some reasons why. And espresso makes me really anxious. So I hope this isn't putting fuel on the fire. But she was so sweet. She was so cute too. I couldn't tell her, oh no, there's been a mistake. Honestly, delicious. So good. We'll see how this does. Let me pull up y'all's questions. I'm gonna scroll through and just kind of the ones that pop up, we'll get to them. What's something you unexpectedly learned about each other? I think something that we've learned is we both didn't realize how much we really love hosting. I do think we both are so enthusiastic about it that we just say yes to everything. So something that we're gonna have to learn moving forward is not saying yes to everything. We also both have FOMO, which is something that I've learned. So we're gonna have to learn how to balance that and still take time to like rest and take care of ourselves and have one-on-one time. But that's something that we didn't really know about our patterns of life, especially being long distance, is we both love doing that. And so we've been doing it a lot more than I honestly would have ever expected. What's the best part about being married to each other? I couldn't even list one best part. I think I didn't realize how awesome it could be to be just so deeply in love with who the person is. And every single night going to bed together is my favorite time because we just like, this sounds so dumb. We just giggle and cuddle and recap the day and joke around, and then we wake up in the morning and we do the same thing again. And it's like the best bookend to every day of like starting and ending every day with that. It's having a teammate and someone that you are obsessed with in your life every day. What are goals in your marriage for the next year? Well, things kind of on our bucket list. We want to do a big road trip together, completely offline, and just adventure more of our state together. And I think that sounds really fun. We'll probably do that for our anniversary. I think we're going to drive up the coast and go all the way up to Napa and then back, maybe a little bit further, but like stay in Big Sur, maybe do some camping. That sounds really fun. Goals for us are, really just figure out our rhythm as a couple. And with his new touring schedule, because he's cutting back a lot, he's going to be on the road probably 4 months a year, which he used to do a lot more. And now finally having things like chill out and calm down. Like, we've been in our house for a while. The big issues are figured out. We're no longer wedding planning. We don't have big international trips, anything like that. So just kind of figuring out what our rhythm is and trying to make it balanced and healthy. We have some financial goals as well. We're hoping to try to start, contributing more towards our mortgage than the minimum, but we have just kind of been on hold with just house things popping up that we have been trying to figure out what it's going to cost and all that sort of thing. So those are probably some of our main goals. Is it hard to find time to spend together when you both have really intense days or busy schedules? Yes. I will say this is something that I've been thankful that he is very much like, let's put this on the calendar and make a plan. And kind of the rhythm that we've decided is essential for us to really feel connected is at least the 30-minute coffee time every morning. And some mornings we don't get to it. And if that's the case, we'll do it in the evening. Like this morning was my parents' last morning here. So I just got straight up and made my own coffee and wanted to be around them. And so instead we're going to have a night in together. So 30 minutes of connection time every single morning, or move it later in the day, lunch break, whatever, if we need to. And then 2 date nights a week, one of them at least in our home. That's kind of like the minimum that we feel like is a good rhythm for us to feel really connected to each other. Have your views changed about Jordy since marriage, and in what way? I think the thing that has has not changed, but even just been so much more heightened is I did not even fully recognize how selfless this man is in every situation. Like, literally the first thing he thinks about is what I would need or want in almost every situation. And that blows my mind. I have to be like, think about yourself. Like, don't worry about me. I will figure it out. And he's just so selfless. And so that's something that I like didn't even fully see before we were married, but now just like living our day to day together, I see that even more so. And I'm like, dang, how is that even possible? I don't even know. What has been the hardest thing you and Jordy had to work through together? Honestly, very early on in our relationship, life threw a lot of like pretty big curveballs, and I was thankful for all of them. I mean, I'm not thankful that they happened, but I'm thankful that we were able to walk through them together and be like, okay, this is how we handle heavy things. Like his dad's cancer diagnosis, right as soon as we started dating, his dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And update on George, he's doing great. His treatment has been really helping, so that's been great. But like that was one thing, and just other personal family things that aren't really my spot to share, but just things with our extended family, whether it be like deaths and losses or other. There's actually been a lot of those in the course of our relationship, and that's all been like heavy and hard to navigate. But I'm kind of glad that we got to go through things like that before we got married, just to know that, oh, when things get really tough, it doesn't pull us apart, and it isn't something that causes a lot of conflict between us, but it's actually something that we can kind of lean on each other with and for. I think that that's a good thing to see in a partner before you commit your life to them, you know? Sorry, girls were walking by like right here, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna move my camera for a second. This is an interesting one. Is it difficult sharing your marriage online? If you asked him, he'd say, no, it's awesome. Like, it's totally great. I love it. And he is so unfazed by anything I share online, which is a huge blessing for me, because I would feel like I was burdening anybody by, you know, the fact that my job is public and things are public. For me, it is hard. Like, the older I get, the more I understand why creators start to value privacy more. And that's been a huge part of like me thinking forward to kids, of like valuing their privacy. I just feel like if anything bad is said about Jordy that I was sharing, then it's like not my fault. And he would never make me feel that way, but that's what my brain does. It is hard for me. It is not hard at all for him. And that's the same way that I wish I could be more like him, and the way that he has a very clear grasp on what is reality and what is not. And he's like, I know what is true. And so things like that don't faze him. Are you okay with Jordy using you to promote his music? Yeah, I'm so honored. Are you kidding? It's like the sweetest, coolest thing ever. Like, if he writes a song about me and he's like, hey, I like this one, I'm considering it for the album, I'm like, are you kidding? Really? You're considering that song about me for the album? That's the coolest thing ever. Or if he's like, I want to use a photo of you for the cover art for the single, I'm like, me? Really? Makes me a little bit teary, because it's I think it's really sweet for him to so publicly associate himself with me. How do you guys divide housework? This is interesting. So we have things that are just like set that we do. Like, I do my own laundry, he does his own laundry. You know, I'm usually the one to vacuum, he's the one to do all of the trash, cardboard, going to get water, things like that. So we have like our set things, but then otherwise, smaller things. A lot of times I'll be like, hey, I want to film this, so don't do anything today because it's content for me, and I dibs on doing this. But on days that I'm not filming and we actually do need to, you know, clean or whatever, normally what we'll do is we'll sit down and we'll make a shared note with like bubbles with check boxes, you know, and we'll share it with both of us, and we'll just both scroll through and we'll kind of be like, ready, set, go, and one of us will pick something and start doing it and then check it off, and we'll just both simultaneously work side by side until all the bubbles are checked. And that's worked really well for us. And it's kind of fun. It kind of makes it like a relay race or something. You two seem so compatible. Is there anything you disagree on? I would say some of our kind of like political opinions, but like our hearts are very in alignment, so that's not really that big. I feel like we had very similar upbringings, except for the fact that his family was super musical. Maybe that's one thing, is my family was very like overly cautious with everything they did, and like wouldn't really take a lot of risks, and like went by the book. And his family is like very creative and will just kind of shoot for the stars. And so we kind of differ there a little bit, of like, I won't do something unless I feel like it's really, really safe and for sure. And he's like, hey, life's short, like take the gamble, like let's try it, it's something you want to do. So that's kind of one of the only things in our upbringings that kind of shaped us into different people as well. We'll end on one more. I probably should have made this its own video because y'all actually had a lot of great questions. But let's just end with this because I have gotten this question in a million different ways. Do you struggle with trusting your husband? And this is just probably a good time for me to give my like opinion, maybe as a form of big sister advice of like, I know what it feels like to not fully trust a husband and have like that little voice in the back of your mind and be like, oh, but what if, like, is there something weird happening? And then be like, no, you're crazy. That's not, it's just normal. And then to be with someone that I actually do fully, deeply trust. And I just want to say, if there is a tiny little voice in the back of your mind that makes you question if you should trust everything that person's doing, I would explore it. I would explore it because it's kind of a gut feeling, and I think it's important for us to listen to our gut. And I did not know what it felt like to be so trusting in a relationship until the one that I'm in right now. And that is possible. It is possible to have that, to have like just complete trust in a person. And it feels really freeing. It feels so freeing just to live in that safety. It really does. So we'll end there. I've been talking for forever and my battery is going to die soon. So let's go home and pack up to go have a little co-work date. We'll see where we end up. Probably, hopefully nowhere with caffeine. I realized that they were starting to close down, so heading out, but that's actually such a good hack. High-Low, which is in the lobby of Mission Pacific, that I asked them, I was like, if we, get a drink, get some coffee, can we just hang here and work out? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely, and it was so chill. And then this is the view of the pier. Jordy actually just left a few minutes ago, a little bit early to go and surf, so I kind of want to go walk down the pier and see if we can spy him before going home, but I do have more work to do, so I think to go home and finish that. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Yeah! Go, Jordy. Oh, okay. With that, it's time for me to end off my workday as soon as possible and start enjoying the weekend. But thanks for spending a Friday with me. Thanks for helping me not be as focused on mom and dad leaving, but I'm actually literally seeing them in a few weeks. So going to Texas I'm going to Texas next week. Maybe I'll get to see them then, and then I'm going in like a couple weeks after that. So gonna be seeing them really soon. But thanks for hanging out with me. In case you're in the market for toothpaste, or if you want to research the toothpaste you're currently using and compare it to something a little more natural, I will have my discount code for Boca in the description box. Thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. I love you. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in another video very soon.